Good evening, my dear friend. As the sun sets on another day, I find myself drawn to this quiet moment where daylight surrenders to darkness and our hearts can finally exhale. There's something sacred about these evening hours when the world grows still and we can hear the whisper of God's presence more clearly. Tonight, as soft lamplight fills my room and the gentle hum of evening settles around us, I'm reminded of Psalm 4, verse 8. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone. Lord, make me dwell in safety. This isn't just the end of another day. This is the sacred space where God works in silence, where healing happens in rest, and where tomorrow's grace is already being prepared. Before we begin this journey together, I'd love to know where you're joining me from tonight. Please hit that like button if this prayer speaks to your heart, and don't forget to subscribe so we can walk this path of faith together. If this prayer blesses you, stay with me as we rest in God's presence tonight. You're not alone in this quiet moment. As I sit here tonight, I find myself thinking about this day that's now drawing to a close. Memory has this beautiful way of painting pictures, doesn't it? And as I look back, I can still feel the freshness of this morning when I first opened my eyes to sunlight streaming through my bedroom window. There was something hopeful about those first moments of consciousness when my mind was clear and my heart was full of possibility. I remember setting intentions as I made my coffee, watching the steam rise from my favorite mug while I mentally walked through my calendar. There was hope in my heart and plans in my mind. The morning felt like a blank canvas, and I was ready to paint something beautiful with the hours ahead. Maybe you felt the same way this morning, that sense of optimism that comes with a fresh start. I had goals for today. Some were simple, like remembering to call my brother, or finally organizing that cluttered drawer that's been bothering me for weeks. Others were bigger, like making progress on that project that's been weighing on my mind, or having that important conversation I've been postponing. There was energy in my step and determination in my spirit. But as the day progressed, reality had its own agenda. You know how it is. How life has a way of reshaping our carefully laid plans. By afternoon, I felt the weight of expectations settling on my shoulders like an old heavy coat. Phone calls didn't go as planned. Emails brought unexpected news that required immediate attention, and those simple tasks I thought would take minutes somehow stretched into hours. I found myself responding to one crisis after another, putting out fires I hadn't even known were burning. There were meetings that ran over deadlines that suddenly became urgent, and conversations that left me feeling more confused than when they started. The confident person who had started the morning gradually gave way to someone who felt like they were constantly trying to catch up. Perhaps you know this feeling too, this gradual shift from control to chaos, from peace to pressure. It's not that the day was terrible. In fact, there were beautiful moments scattered throughout. A coworker's unexpected compliment, a text message from an old friend, the way the afternoon light fell across my desk. Just right. But by evening, I felt like I'd been running on a treadmill that never stopped. Now, as evening falls, and I have a moment to breathe, I can see both the struggles and the small victories more clearly. I see the patience I exercised when someone was difficult, the kindness I showed when someone needed help, the grace I received when I made mistakes. Even in the difficult moments, I can trace God's hand weaving through my day, turning frustrations into lessons and obstacles into opportunities for growth. Some prayers weren't answered the way I hoped today, but I'm learning to trust His timing. Some doors remained closed, but perhaps that was protection I couldn't see. Some conversations were harder than expected, but maybe they planted seeds that will bloom in their proper season. Yet as grateful as I am for the day's blessings, I can't ignore what remains undone, hanging over me like unfinished symphony notes that keep playing in my mind. There's that presentation still waiting on my computer, the one I keep telling myself I'll finish tomorrow. The stack of documents that need reviewing, the emails sitting in my inbox like patient children waiting for attention, and those decisions I keep postponing because I'm afraid of making the wrong choice. Sometimes I feel like I'm running on a treadmill that never stops. It's moving, but never quite getting where I need to be. I see others who seem to have it all together, their lives organized and purposeful, while I struggle to keep all my plates spinning without crashing to the ground. The professional world demands so much, always pushing for more productivity, more efficiency, more results. And sometimes I wonder if I'm enough for all that's expected of me. Tomorrow's responsibilities are already calling my name from across the darkness. There are meetings to prepare for problems to solve, people depending on me to have answers. I'm not sure I possess. The weight of leadership, of being someone others look to for guidance, sometimes feels heavier than I thought it would when I was younger, and more naive about what success really costs. But it's not just the professional pressures that keep my mind active tonight. There are personal relationships that need more attention, connections that have grown thin through neglect and busy schedules. I meant to call my mother today to check on how she's been feeling since her last doctor's appointment. There are friendships that need nurturing conversations that require more than quick text messages and hurried greetings in passing. I think about words I should have spoken. Apologies. I should have offered moments of connection. I let slip by because I was too focused on my own concerns. The guilt of not being enough for everyone weighs heavy on my heart. My family deserves more of my presence, not just my physical body in the same room, but my full attention, my engaged heart, my undivided focus on what matters most. There are moments I miss today with those I love, because I was mentally somewhere else planning tomorrow or rehashing yesterday instead of being fully present in the gift of now. I long for deeper connections, more meaningful conversations, relationships that go beyond surface pleasantries to touch the real substance of life and love and hope. And then there are those internal struggles that no one else can see, the questions about my future that keep me awake at night, staring at the ceiling. Where is my life heading? Am I making the right choices? Or am I slowly drifting away from the person I was meant to become? The passage of time feels both too slow and too fast, crawling when I'm stuck in difficult situations, but racing when I realize another year has passed, and I'm not sure what I have to show for it. Financial concerns creep in during these quiet moments. Will there be enough for tomorrow, for next month, for the future I'm trying to build? I feel my body changing as the years pass, time leaving its gentle but persistent marks. And I wonder about my health, my strength, my ability to keep up with life's demands as I continue aging. Most deeply, I wrestle with questions of meaning and purpose. Am I making a difference in this world, or am I just taking up space, consuming resources without contributing? Anything lasting or valuable, in the darkness of night, these thoughts feel louder and more insistent, demanding attention. I tried to avoid during the busy daylight hours. There's something about nighttime that amplifies everything, isn't there? It's as if darkness has this way of turning up the volume on every worry, every fear, every unresolved concern we've been successfully ignoring during the bright busyness of day. When the world sleeps around me, my worries seem to wake up with renewed energy and demanding voices. The house is quiet now, but my thoughts are anything but peaceful. They race from one concern to another like restless children who refuse to settle down for the night. What if I'm not strong enough for what's coming? What if the challenges ahead are bigger than my ability to handle them? What if I disappoint the people who believe in me, who are counting on me to be stronger and wiser than I feel? Under these vast stars, visible through my window, I feel so incredibly small. Just one person in a universe too big to comprehend, with problems that seem enormous from my limited perspective. The regrets of today play on repeat in my mind, like a broken record. Things I wish I had done differently, words I should have chosen more carefully, opportunities I let slip through my fingers because I hesitated too long or moved too quickly. My body carries the physical exhaustion of the day, muscles tight from tension I didn't realize I was holding, but my spirit feels even more restless than my tired flesh. Sleep seems elusive when my mind insists on reviewing every mistake, planning every solution, worrying about every possible outcome for tomorrow's challenges. I want so desperately to fix everything tonight, to solve all the problems from my bedroom, like some kind of midnight superhero. My mind makes endless lists of tomorrow's solutions, strategies for conversations. I need to have plans for projects I need to complete, resolutions for relationships that need repair. But the frustration builds because I can't actually do any of these things from where I am right now. Some things are completely beyond my reach, no matter how much I want to control them. I can't force other people to change their minds or their hearts. I can't make opportunities appear just because I need them. I can't heal every hurt, or solve every problem, or answer every question that keeps me awake when I should be sleeping peacefully. I lie here trying to force answers that won't come fighting sleep, as if staying awake could somehow change the unchangeable. It's the illusion of productivity, this nighttime worrying, as if anxiety could accomplish what action cannot. But I'm exhausted from trying so hard to be God, when I'm just a man who needs rest and grace, and the humility to admit I don't have all the answers. The breaking point comes quietly, not with drama, but with the simple recognition that I'm not strong enough to carry everything alone. I'm not God, and despite what the world tells me about self-reliance and personal strength, I don't have to pretend I am. In my weakness, in this moment of honest exhaustion, I hear a gentle voice that's been waiting patiently for me to stop talking long enough to listen. And so tonight, I make a choice that goes against everything our culture tells me about strength and independence and self-sufficiency. I choose to stop fighting and start surrendering. Not giving up, but giving over. There's a difference between defeat and deliberate conscious trust in something bigger than my own limited understanding. I choose to place this entire day into your hands, Lord, like offering a gift I've been clutching too tightly. The meeting that went wrong this afternoon, I give it to you, trusting that even in apparent failure, you can write a story of redemption. I can't see yet. The deadline I missed, the opportunity that slipped away, the conversation that ended badly. I release them all into your capable care, those I couldn't help today, the people whose problems felt too big for my small resources. I trust them to your infinite love. My failures and shortcomings, the ways I fell short of my own expectations, and probably yours too. I lay them down at your feet like heavy stones. I was never meant to carry alone. The unknowns of tomorrow that have been stealing my peace. I remember that. You already know every detail of what's coming, and you're already there, preparing the way. I imagine myself physically opening my palms and letting everything go, feeling the relief of release as burdens I was never meant to bear alone. Find their proper resting place in your strong hands. Jehovah Jireh. You are my provider, and you will provide exactly what I need, exactly when I need it. Not according to my timeline, but according to your perfect wisdom. What looks unfinished and incomplete to me is perfectly timed in your eternal perspective. You're working even when I can't see it, especially when I can't see it weaving together threads of purpose and meaning that won't make sense until the tapestry is complete. my small story fits into your grand design in ways I'll probably never fully understand this side of heaven. And that's okay, because you understand, and that's enough. I'm learning patience the hard way, discovering that delays are not denials. In your kingdom, a divine preparation for something better than I had originally planned. You love me as I am right now, not as I should be, or could be, or will be someday, but exactly as I am in this moment, with all my flaws and fears and frustrations. I don't have to earn your love, or prove my worth, or achieve some level of spiritual maturity before I'm acceptable to you. My identity isn't found in my achievements or my failures, my successes or my setbacks, but in the simple, profound truth that I am your beloved child. Jehovah Rapha, you are my healer, working to restore and renew and rebuild areas of my life that are broken in ways I can't even identify. Yet healing wounds I don't know I carry, and strengthening places where I feel weak and vulnerable. Your peace surpasses all understanding, which means it doesn't make sense according to worldly logic. This isn't the absence of problems, but the presence of your spirit in the middle of whatever I'm facing. You invite me to rest, not because everything is done and perfect and under control, but because you are enough, and you are in control. And that makes all the difference. While I sleep tonight, you never slumber or grow weary. You're watching over the people I love, working in situations I can't influence, preparing answers to prayers I haven't even prayed yet. The morning belongs to you already, and whatever it brings, you'll meet me there with grace, sufficient for each new challenge and blessing. Right now, in this very moment, I am ifininchdef in your love. Jehovah Shalom, you are my peace, and in you I find the rest my soul has been craving all day long. And then, like a gentle tide washing over the shore of my troubled heart, something beautiful begins to happen. Peace doesn't arrive with fanfare or dramatic music or bright lights. It comes quietly, softly, like the first hint of dawn, touching the horizon so gradually you don't notice it at first, and then suddenly, the whole world is different. I feel my shoulders dropping, almost without conscious effort, releasing tension I didn't realize I was holding. My jaw unclenches. My breathing becomes deeper and fuller, each breath carrying away a little more anxiety and bringing in a little more of God's calming presence. The noise in my head, that constant chatter of worry and planning and rehearsing conversations, begins to fade into blessed quiet. This is your gift to me, Lord, not something I've accomplished through spiritual techniques or positive thinking or sheer willpower. It's grace, pure and simple, the unearned favor of a God who loves his children enough to give them rest when they finally stop trying to be strong enough to save themselves. My scattered thoughts begin to find their proper place, like papers blown by wind, suddenly settling into neat stacks. Problems shrink to their actual size instead of the enormous proportions fear had given them. I see solutions I couldn't see before, not because I'm suddenly smarter, but because peace brings clarity and anxiety clouds everything. Gratitude awakens in my heart, like flowers blooming after rain. I remember the small kindnesses I witnessed today, the unexpected moments of beauty, the ways you provided for needs I didn't even voice. Thankfulness rises like morning mist, soft and pervasive, touching everything with appreciation for gifts I had overlooked in my hurry to get to the next thing. Your love fills the empty spaces in my heart that I tried to fill with achievement and approval and control. This is what I was really hungry for all along. Not more success or fewer problems, but simply the assurance that I am loved completely and unconditionally by the one who matters most. Hope rekindles like embers that seemed dead, but were only sleeping, waiting for the breath of the spirit to fan them back into flame. Tomorrow holds promise again because it belongs to you. Not because I have all the answers or all the strength I'll need, but because you do. My faith feels stronger than my fears for the first time in days, not because the fears have disappeared, but because I'm remembering who you are and what you're capable of, and how faithful you've been through every other difficult season of my life. This peace wants to be shared, doesn't it? It's too good to keep to myself. I lift up those I love to you, imagining your peace flowing through my prayers to touch their hearts wherever they are tonight. My family sleeping in their beds, my friends scattered across the country and around the world, even those who've hurt me or misunderstood me, I release them all to your love. I forgive as I've been forgiven, not because I feel like it, but because peace makes forgiveness possible, and withholding it would only poison my own heart. I'm already beginning to plan how I'll carry this peace with me into tomorrow, how I'll remember this moment when challenges arise and pressure builds, and I'm tempted to take back all the burdens I've given to you tonight. From anxiety to peace, from worry to trust, from exhaustion to rest. This is the testimony of your goodness written across my heart tonight. This is the miracle that happens not in stadium services or dramatic moments, but in quiet bedrooms, where ordinary people discover that God's love is more powerful than their problems, and His peace is more reliable than their own understanding. As I prepare to close my eyes tonight and surrender to the gift of sleep, I want to make some declarations that feel important words that need to be spoken into the darkness as a testimony of what you've done in my heart these past few minutes. Tonight, I choose peace over worry, trust over control, surrender over striving. I place everything into your faithful hands. Lord, not just the big things, but the small concerns too. Not just tomorrow's challenges, but tonight's restless thoughts. Nothing is ever lost when it's given to you. What seems like giving up is actually the beginning of receiving something far better than anything I could have achieved on my own. My soul finds its rest in you alone, not in solved problems or perfect circumstances, but in the unchanging reality of your love and faithfulness. I sleep beneath the shadow of your wings tonight, protected and covered, and held secure by the one who spoke the stars into existence, and yet knows my name, and cares about my smallest concerns. Your angels keep watch while I rest, and this house and all who sleep within it are surrounded by your presence. Tomorrow hasn't arrived yet, but your grace is already there, waiting for me. Fresh mercies prepared for whatever the new day may bring. You work while I sleep, solving what I cannot solve, healing what I cannot heal, preparing what I cannot prepare. If this prayer has touched your heart tonight, if you felt the peace I've been describing, settle over your own worried spirit then. You know you're not alone in this journey. We're all walking similar paths, carrying similar burdens, learning similar lessons about the limits of human strength and the unlimited nature of God's love. I want to ask you something before we part ways tonight. What burden are you ready to lay down? What worry has been stealing your sleep and robbing your peace? Leave a comment below and share your prayer request with our community. There's power in praying together, in knowing that others understand our struggles and are lifting us up before the throne of grace. If this prayer has blessed you, would you take a moment to hit that like button and share this video with someone who might need to hear these words tonight? Sometimes we're the answer to someone else's prayer just by sharing hope when they can't find it on their own. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel so we can continue walking this journey of faith together, finding God's peace in the midst of life's chaos. I'll be here again tomorrow night, ready to walk this path with you, to remind you of God's faithfulness when you forget to pray with you, when words won't come, to point you back to the source of true peace when the world tries to steal it away. Until we meet again, rest well in His perfect peace. May His presence guard your heart and mind tonight and always. May you wake refreshed and renewed, carrying His peace with you into whatever tomorrow may bring. And may you never forget that you are loved beyond measure by the God who never sleeps, who never leaves you, and who is always working all things together for your good. Sweet dreams, my friend. God's got this and God's got you. Amen.